Okay, so welcome everyone, most especially members of the boot camp program who are already on their week 2. Okay, I'm going to do just a brief intro about what we do here, and we take it up from there. So, my name is Brian, and I'm the lead instructor for the cybersecurity bootcamp program. Now, what we do is to assist and help underserved communities with the skills and the resources they need to do the big things in a smaller way, okay, especially in the field of cybersecurity. And this spreads across the foundational knowledge about cybersecurity, the basic skills, both playing in the blue team, the red team, and also an extending hands towards the GRC area for those of us who are interested into compliance. So the program is proudly sponsored by three arms currently. Our cybersecurity resource, YouTube resource, then Talent App, the CEO of Talent App is doing a wonderful work in the community. Then the last but not the least is Each One Teach One Tech. Each One Teach One Tech is an NGO in United States of America, South Carolina, which currently does what we are doing in a very, very bigger way. In fact, they're into partnership with ISC2, and they provide tools and resources for learning, advanced cybersecurity learning for underserved communities. See, when you see programs that range from $8,000, $9,000, each one Teach One Tech still currently does programs of 1,200 or 800. So that's to tell you how much they are serving the underserved communities. So, and I'm currently working as a SOC analyst and a cybersecurity support technician at each one Teach One Tech. So our program here is for 7 weeks, which within that 7 week we expect we have three kinds of people we take in for the program. Number one, those who are entirely rookies who do not have IT backgrounds or who do not have any knowledge at all of cybersecurity. Then the second group are beginners, those who have some skills or some not just skills, some basic knowledge. Maybe they've gone to Google, they've read up some stuff, and they've watched some YouTube videos, and they're looking at for where they could get engaged and also be served with a proper learning curve in the field. Okay, and last but not least is the professional working professionals, which fall into all kinds of fields. We've had some of in the past times. Few batches are before us. Before now, we've had accountants, bankers, both. I think one of the batches we had accountant from Australia who wanted to have a knowledge of cybersecurity, not just the knowledge, but the skill. So I told someone, yes, you want to do GRC, but you need to know what you want to GRC in. Yes, you need to know at least the basics or the baseline, so that when you're doing the work, you have an edge more than who doesn't or who is not doing the work. And this here is the flyer of the program, which costs 55,900 on $34. So we take care of the ICT training, ensure that our learners get every resources they need to pass their first certification exam under IIC2. And we have also an edge in Security Operations Center, providing our learners with the necessary lab and introduction into SOC. And we'll go into some home lab setup and practicals, moving down to network enumeration, Nmap, Wireshark, stuff like that. We're also going to vulnerability testing, penetration, and SQLi injection with Juice Shop, whereby we're going to have the capstone project where everybody is supposed to um, do that penetration test with Juice Shop. Okay, if you're watching the group, for those of us in the group, most people are already getting excited because of the progress they are making on their assignments. It's not as easy as it sounds, but the sweet part of it is those are the learning curves. You learn. Most times your machine might fail you. You have to fight and get it back and do the project. Okay, because those behind you have done it and they've excelled in it. Then also, we added bug bounty hunting introduction into the program this last batch, and so forth, so fast. So with that little introduction, let's move ahead. Today we're actually in week 2, and it's all about SOC. We want to deep into SOC, Security Operations Center. How did it come in, and what's up with it, and the job, whatever, 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 whatever. And we're also going to be looking into, while we are teaching or while we are having this class, there might be times when I have to drift and show you some of my workspace, or when we see some things that needs to be practicalized, we might, if the resources are available for me here, we'll drift and get it sorted out. You see how it's been done. If the resources are open source, you can also do that from your own end, and you'll get same result. So without further ado, let us get it rolling. Mr. Henry is not here again. He came late to the class the last time. I hope he doesn't come much late today. So let's welcome once again everyone. And at any time when you stop hearing my voice, or you stop seeing my screen, please always let us know, or let me know. I might not know that my screen is not sharing. Then as we're using Google Link for longer classes, sometimes our link expires. Then we'll take a 5 minutes break. Everybody get a coffee. Don't mind me. Nigerians don't take coffee. Get what's it called? Get a glass of water and take, and a second link will be shared. Then everybody comes back in and we wrap up the class. So just wanted to point that out also. If you have a question during the class, please kindly just ask, and if I have the answers, of course I will, by God's grace. I will share my knowledge. And also, if you are here and you have experiences or knowledge in what we're teaching, and you find it good enough to impute your contribution towards the end, please, you are always allowed. So thank you very much, guys, and let's kick it off. The material we're going to be exploring today for the SOC is from Anand Guru. Anand Guru, I like his resources. I've used it several times, and it's been a very good insight into SOC. Okay, and so far so good. As of the time we extracted this material, he has already tutored 5,000 students, has a 12 more than 12, 13 years of experience, and also 6 years into cybersecurity training. So this material he has on SOC is a very good one. So it's a shout out to him. You could also ask for it or demand for it. I will point you to his link. It's free of charge on Coursera, I think so. So you could take a look at what he has done and the subsequent programs he has. Okay, so let's move right on. Now the program, the today is about SOC. We're going to be talking about introductory course. We're going to be talking about what is SOC, how has it evolved, the people, the process, and the technologies in SOC. I told you guys, some people that were in the last class, for every skill or for every field of career, there are three consecutive things. There are the people there, then there are the processes, how things are being done, and there will be technologies that are being used in that particular field. Okay, and that is exactly how this thing spreads in every other field. And also, we're going to be looking at the non-IT background side of it. Where does SOC fit in? Why companies need so many computers currently? What are the different IT teams and stuff like that? So there are places where we're going to do speed running, especially where you have IT teams in a company. We're going to do a speed run on that because those are more of open knowledge concepts that are online there. So, and finally, we are going to look at why SOC jobs are so hot in the market currently. These are what we're going to be exploring today. If you have any question, then if you don't have, then we'll move ahead. Any question from anyone? I'm going to take the silence as no, and also I'm wondering if anybody can still hear me.
We can hear you.
Please, Nello, keep your mic open. You're going to walk with me, okay? Yeah, so that you don't slip off. And most
I'm
times,
not sleeping. I'm fully awake.
I understand. I just need someone to be re-echoing with me so that I know that I'm following with you guys.
Okay.
So yeah.
Because I have my nephew is here and it's very
Okay.
noisy.
Okay, it's all right. You can mute. You can mute so that we wouldn't have that. Then I forgot to mention the class is recorded. Okay. So at the end of the training, the link will be shared to the folders of the group, the people who are already in the program. Okay. Henry, Henry is sending me assignment last week assignment now. Someone that is supposed to come to class. You know when people don't do their assignments, when you call them, they think you're calling them for the assignment. He's sending me an assignment. Let him come to the class. Okay, guys, let's move ahead. Where does SOC jobs fit in? Okay, that's one of the best questions you're going to answer now. I've told people in the past that coming into cybersecurity through SOC is one of the easiest. In fact, it is one of the lowest hanging fruits passage where you could drift into cybersecurity, and you're going to find that as we go ahead because SOC is like the introduction, and the smaller jobs, not just the smaller jobs. Of course, you know that anything that has to do with security is not just small, but it has lesser what's it called requirements in cybersecurity. SOC, Security Operations Center, has lesser requirements, so it is one of the easiest parts to drift into the field. So where does SOC jobs fit in? Now, in the entire job market, okay, we we see the big scale whereby in the market, all the fields, all the marketing, all the business structures, they are playing outside there. Now, behind them, something powering them, or a sector powering them, is the information technology sector, of which facilitates and ensures that businesses and business continuity is alive and goes well. So now, under the information technology, there is another core also that is powering information technology, which is the IT infrastructure. Inside the information technology, sorry, we have all the skill guys. Okay, we have I think some couple of years back, programmers were hot in town. Hot developers, front end, footers, developer here, there, and there. So those guys were ensuring that the entire job market and the entire market is facilitated so far as technology is concerned. Now, under the information technology core, the IT infrastructure is working seriously behind them to ensure that they remain active. And inside the IT infrastructure, we have few setups of few sections. Like we have the system engineer. Basically, most of the engineers that are going to be the network engineers, the system engineers, and of course, these guys deal with databases and all the whole magic stuffs that happens under IT infrastructure. Now, inside IT infrastructure, we now have the IT security, which would have been just the last base, where we have the IAM, the endpoint security guys, the vulnerability assessment, network security guys. It would have just been the last, but something happened that made SOC to come in to be the last point. Inside the IT security, that's where SOC lies. Okay? We get the SOC analysts, and they use same tools, SOAR and threat intel. Okay. Now, This is the entire lookout of what the market and the whole sphere looks like. And this is where SOC is actually playing. If you look very well, you will see that it is at the center of all the security that is happening. Now, let's move into a related fields for, let's move into a case study whereby we're going to use a civil engineer who has knowledge or is expected to have knowledge of what is happening around him to explain down about SOC. This is a civil engineer, and even though he might not be an architect or a mason man or a tile worker, neither an electrician or a painter or a plumber, but definitely he should know or he should have an idea of his environment. He should have an idea of the immediate sectors or workers that are working with him. The same thing applies with SOC. Related fields for SOC are the IT infrastructure and the IT teams. So, if you are in SOC or if you are in cybersecurity, you should somehow have, by use of knowing or experience over time, you should have an idea of what these guys that are around you, what they do. What does the system engineer do? What does the network engineer do? Database, what is database? How is it? How does it work? Network security, vulnerability assessment, all those things. In the last class we had a few days ago, I was sharing with the guys in the class that when you are playing on the blue team, yes, you are in the blue team, you are doing defense. But soon, as jobs start coming and your experience start growing, you will start finding yourself taking up interest in red team jobs. For example, you're a SOC analyst doing your defense stuff, and you start stretching your hands into doing vulnerability assessments and doing endpoint security stuffs. Start doing some penetration testing, all those kind of stuffs. Because by the end of a long experience, while as a blue team person, now with the experience of a red team guy, you become a purple team player, meaning you could work in both fields. So let's ride ahead. So why are SOC jobs in demand? Why are SOC jobs in demand? First, cybersecurity skills shortage. For a long time now, there have been a really long gap and shortage in cybersecurity. And as technology rises, it keeps getting worse. Okay. Now, not to talk about it, when COVID came in, it's it made it so obvious that SOC and cybersecurity needs hands, and that is why ISC2, the international community, set up on the agenda to train 1 million cybersecurity personnel all over the globe. And if you are in this program, you are privileged to be one of those 1 million. So far as you will be able to do everything necessary, like study hard, sit for the exam, and smash it, because it will be nice that you do, and ensure you pass, because we'll give you every help you need to pass. If you fail, there's no bad thing about failing, but it's just that your pocket will pay when you want to receipt for the exam. I heard that receipting costs $199, but sitting for the first time is free. You sit for the exam, you pass, you get your license. But when you fail the exam, you're gonna pay when you want to receipt again. So all these things that has been happening over these years modified or amplified the need for cybersecurity, and not just cybersecurity, the need of SOC. We are going to find out even more as we go down the lane. Now, currently, what is obtainable in the internet world now is a lot of marriage of materials. You go on YouTube, there are 1,001 materials on YouTube. Every resource. Go to Facebook, everywhere you put your head, cybersecurity. Whether the real ones or the fake ones, they are there. Now, the myth is, people have this myth, especially those who are not in the IT environment, that cybersecurity is difficult, that is only for hackers. No, of course, Everybody that is in this program is already learning to extent to know that that is not true. It's not just for hackers. And also, we also have the myth where people say that cybersecurity is equal to hacking. Cybersecurity is not equal to hacking, but hacking is done inside cybersecurity. In fact, hacking by the word hacking itself does not denote evil, but our society has already termed it evil. So that's why we now have ethical behind it. So we say someone is an ethical hacker. Ethical hacker, you're good, okay. But if you're not an ethical hacker, then probably you're a black hacker. You do the bad things. But I know for sure that by the time a Nigerian system handles you, they won't pay attention to what comes behind your hacking portfolio. Before you say I am an ethical hacker, probably you'll be inside the healer's van. So you might just have to tell them that you're cybersecurity personnel. And it's just funny how the system works currently. Now, SOC, Security Operations Center. This domain has only started evolving since 2015. That's when the domain SOC started picking up traction. Okay. And up until then, even till now, 63% of cybersecurity job opportunities are focused on security operations center. If you go to LinkedIn today and look at cybersecurity jobs, hardly will you find 10 jobs that out of that 10, 5 is not about security operations center. Hardly. Also, it has low entry barrier. That's why I told you guys that it is one of the easiest landing or easiest climbing in with low barrier into cybersecurity. And subsequently, new certifications have been introduced, but previously there were the cybersecurity analyst plus security plus, and we also have the certified SOC analyst as of 2017. But as of today, there are newer certifications like the ISC2 certified in cybersecurity certification, which you guys will be proud to be able to get. But please do ensure that you don't sit for the exam unprepared. It's an external exam. You go to the exam hall, you you sit alone with your system. All protocols for external examination are being observed. If you are in Lagos, good 18, you have some centers in Lagos that you could write. But outside Lagos, I don't know whether there are few um, centers outside Lagos, maybe spread across the country. So now we've seen how SOC started. Below here, we are going to be looking at different IT teams in a company, and this is a place where we'll do a kind of speed run so that we could run down to our SOC properly. So we have the systems team, the network team, endpoint security team, network security team, information security team. Security operations center falls also under the IT teams in a company. We also have the application development team, then the database team, and also IT desk team, where also we have recently in the new age cloud virtualization, vulnerability assessment, and identity and assessment management. I want to know whether I'm still online or I'm just talking to myself. And I'll always use Nello to find that. Nello, what do you see on the screen
Yeah.
currently?
Yes. You're doing well. I can hear you. I can see you.
No, you can't hear me. What do you see on the screen currently?
System team, server team.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that was um, Okuruwa. Thank you. Nelly, I also heard you. Please just ensure that I had I had a batch. I think 4 batches ago. One of them normally plays football on Saturday morning. So boldly, the guy will come to class and start sleeping. Now, I'm not talking of normal sleeping. The guy will be snoring hard inside the microphone. We have to tell him to please. It's either you wake up or you switch on to mute yourself. So ensure that you don't joke with your class period. It's just few times, few hours in the day. to get you jump started for the week. So the systems team, stroke server team, these guys provide the provision, the systems. Also, most times they do the installation and maintaining of the operating systems. Now, in the previous day times when you get your laptop, most of these things will not be there. So there are times when you have to go to an IT team, let them install softwares for you. But those days are long or speedily passing away. So the systems team, like I said, we are going to speed run this section. We have the network team. This guy, they are in charge of the planning and designing of the network architecture, installing and maintaining of network devices. That's where you find devices like routers, switches, access points, and network cables. There was a question on routers today for those of us that took the exam today. I could remember. Okay. Then endpoint security, protecting endpoints in the network, user machines, servers, etc. Installing, configuring, and maintaining endpoint security solutions. So in this department, these guys they work with antivirus, host firewall, host intrusion prevention system, the disk encryption, data loss prevention, endpoint detection and response. They use most of these tools. Okay. Now, remember what I told you that for every section or for every career or field, there are the people, the processes, and the technologies used there. Okay. In this network security team, these guys they protect the overall network. They do the installing, configuring, and maintaining of network security solutions. Where you see the firewall, intrusion prevention system, that is IPS, and web gateway, web firewall, wireless, email gateway, etc. All of those. Then the infosec team. This team also is very important in cybersecurity. The GRC. For those of us who are not really into the, I want to hack or I want to monitor the screen, but you know things about or you're conversant with compliances, policies, audits, all those stuffs are your thing. This place is a very interesting sector for you to play inside cybersecurity. So they conduct regular audits, drafting security policies, conduct user awareness and adherence to regulatory compliances. And that's the GRC, which stands for governance, compliance, and risk. Now, if you watch very well inside it, you will see a lot of things that they do: business processes, policies and procedures, performance management, risk management, control activities, and audits. So, this is what happens inside the InfoSec security team, the GRC. Now, the vulnerability assessment team, these guys, they use automated tools to scan the network to identify the vulnerabilities in applications and systems. Okay, they analyze the reports and work with various teams for fixing the vulnerabilities whenever they see it. And during that fixing, it is called patching. Okay, when you find vulnerabilities or system failures, flaws, when you scan for them and find them, the best thing to do is to patch them up so that the the threat actor will not take or maximize them before you. Identity and access management team. Okay, so these guys are in charge of anything account creating, create and manage identities and access rights of people, employees, and customers. Okay, this is what these guys do. They provision user accounts, password reset, and they'll grant access. Now, the Security Operations Center, they do basically few things. First, they monitor, detect, investigate, and respond to cyber threats. Okay, while they work with SMEs of other teams to remediate the security incidents. So they use some tools like SIEM, SOA, threat intelligence and analysis. For some of us who are already advanced, we know what SIEM is, which is the Security Information and Event Management Tool, which one of ahead, I'm going to be sharing my screen on a Wazoo SIM tool so that most of us who have not seen or worked with it could see practically in real life example how this thing works. So there we have the SOA, also we have the threat intelligence, and also the analysis too. Okay, this is about basically what happens inside security operations center, not excluding the response too, because when we detect, we investigate, and then respond to the. Okay, moving on. Recently we've been seeing a lot of you know um, sectors that are pointing down or channeling their security down to security operations center. Okay, and we have the system guys, network guys, endpoints, network security, vulnerability assessment, IAM, help desk, application development guys. Recently, all of them are channeling or pulling energy from the security operations center. That's why you see that most companies would want to have their own SOC team present in their company. Those that can't afford to build theirs, they subscribe for managed security service, which is MSSP platforms. Now we're going into evolution of SOC. Please, once more, if you have any question or you need clarity in what the little thing we've shared a few minutes ago, you could ask question before we move ahead. And I would love someone to either ask or contribute or affirm what we have done so far. That's if you guys are not sleeping. You're not sleeping.
We are not sleeping.
Okay. Very, thank you.
You almost got me.
Sammy, your voice is sounding as though sleep is catching you.
I'm not sleeping, oh, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
just waiting now.
Yeah,
Just chilling.
it's all right.
Yes.
Yeah,
You knocked me on the stage one or two.
Mr. Rob, please don't sleep.
So you knocked me before, but I'm good
Yeah, no. It's afternoon, and at least if you are home, you
I
should
just
be
came
resting
back
by
from
now.
I came back from workout. So
You see, all those Saturday exercises, they drain energy. I understand. So just hang on a little while. Probably in the next couple of minutes, we should find a way and wrap up. So, guys, let's move ahead. Evolution of SOC. Now, in the year 2008 to 2010, this was the year of SOC kind of metamorphosed, and we have here Stuxnet. Stuxnet is arguably the first cyber weapon which was designed, and of all the jobs it was designed to do, it was designed to bring down Iran's nuclear power plant. Can you imagine how bad or how deadly or how devastating a cyber weapon can be? Not just to an individual, nor an organization, or a state, or a country. You see, many cyber attacks. Yes, you want to say some?
which which country designed this thing? I guess it's US, right?
I don't know. Probably you find out from Google. Yeah, do some research. Find out from Google. Just dig up, type in Stuxnet and uh, who, which country, and where the countries it was targeted at. It's normally a group. If it's not government organized, it will be some individuals. But for something as large as this, the hand of government will always be around it. You understand? So so we've seen major attacks in the past. Sony, Yahoo, Visa, Subway, Target. I think Yahoo has the highest number of attacks within the year 2013 and 2014, where they affirmed in October 2017 that 3 billion of its users were impacted. 3 billion. 3 billion users were impacted by an incident that happened in 2012. So there has been so many major attacks even currently. Last year, this year too, some events, some attacks has gone on, and some people already are already losing money. Now the question is, who is safe in this internet? Who who is safe in the internet. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Okay, Nello, read up. Hello, Nello,
You went up
So,
for a
similar
walk.
to me.
read up, read up.
Some findings. It took 205 days for companies to detect an attack. 80 days before the attack, there were indications that the attack will happen. 67% of the time, the attacks are detected by an external entity.
Fantastic. You can imagine. It took 205 days. That was almost 1 year for companies to detect an attack. Then, 80 days before these 205 days, there were indicators. They call these things IOCs, indicators of compromise, little artifacts here and there, stuffs like that. 80 days before the attack took place, there were indicators that this attack would happen. Then 67% of the time these attacks were detected not by the company itself, but by external entities. So you can imagine this era, how devastating it was to be in this particular era. Now,
How do
graphically,
we know?
yes, go ahead.
How do we know the indicators? You say 80 days. There were indicators that the attack would happen. How do we know? You know, without the company, try to fight back or prevent it.
Okay, now remember where we are coming from. We are doing an evolution of SOC. How SOC or what made SOC to come in. Now, this is a summary of what has been happening before SOC came in. Are you following?
Yeah.
So, in the past, few years ago, when I mean in the past, let's say from 2012 down, it took this kind of long time before for attacks, for companies to detect that an attack is happening. Now, graphically, when you look at the calendar, some indicators started from January, probably small glitches. Maybe something happened, a hacker bypassed, what's it called, a security channel and entered and did some things. Maybe a hacker went on rampage to go and check up some information about the company. And even not just checking it on the open source, went ahead to probe the system and got some answers. All those things are indicators of compromise. It took this long. Then around April, this started around January. Around April, the attack was executed. And I will show you guys how whip attacks most times is how it does. As a cybersecurity personnel, you have to put on your thinking hat. And I think this is rightly called the cyber kill chain. Okay? Whereby the step one will be to gather information gathering. Now, you can either gather your information passively or actively. Passively, you could do it over Google or other open source information sites. Please, are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I said,
Went up.
yes, passively you could just go on Google to get information about your target, or you go actively. Actively, for you to do an active information gathering, meaning you are now touching the system or the target system. You are doing probes. You are probing the system. I saw a sound warning. What is that?
15 minutes.
Okay,
15
It will
please.
end.
minutes.
Yes. Once it is 5 minutes, you let me know so we could get a new link. Okay. So, active information gathering is where you now start running your nmap. You now start running your what's it called? You're using your Wireshark to tap in and look at the things that you've seen. That's step one. Step one. Step two is where you form a weapon with all the informations that you've gathered. Before you go out to secure or what's it called, attack a system, you need information of what that system is. What kind of platform is it working on? What are the things that are working on it? Is it vulnerable to this? When you gather all those information, then you will now know, okay, this system is running on this kind of server. And this kind of server might have this kind of vulnerabilities. By the time you gather all this information, step two, you formulate it into a weapon. After formulating it into a weapon, number three, that's where you now try to execute it, try to deliver it. Once you've delivered, you find a way and plant CC, command and control. Let me see if I'm following the right process of what's it called? What did I call that step? Is I called the concept something. Let me see who is paying attention.
What did you say?
What I was explaining, I called it something. If you get it, $1,000 going, gone. Cyber
Sort
cute.
of that. What is your position?
No.
Never kitchen.
It's cyber kill chain. So you people just lost $1,000 now.
I said it. I said cyber kitchen. I said cyber kitchen. No.
I know you said it after I must
I
have
said cyber
opened.
kitchen, sir. They don't already see her. No, no, no. I said cyber kitchen.
Sorry, we didn't hear you. Maybe the village people were muting you when you were saying it.
I said cyber kitchen.
We don't hear now. You don't do. Okay, so
The 1,000.
so on step one, we have reconnaissance, which is scanning the environment for what? Harvesting information from social media. Let me enlarge it a bit more. Yeah. You see, first of all, you do a scanning to know, gather information, whether you're doing a passive. In fact, you have to start with passive information gathering before you now go active. Because once you've gone active, once your connection hits the server, they will know that somebody is scanning. They will know that a threat is trying to find information. They will know. Their intrusion detection and intrusion prevention, they will know. So you start with passive, then before you now proceed into active, probably you now even go into more stealth ways of doing some scanning. Okay, so after your stage one, which is reconnaissance, stage two will be weaponization, pairing malicious codes with an exploit to create a weapon. Then stage three is delivery. That's when you, no matter how you want to use and deliver it, ensure that you deliver your payload. Transmission of the weapon stroke malware to the target, maybe through phishing, email, USB, website, social engineering, etc. Then stage four is exploitation. This is where you now, once delivered, the weapons or malware code is triggered upon an action. I think there was a time during the I think 2012, I wrote a particular virus that it will be on, let's say it's on USB, because normally before I sell it out, then I put it on USB. This was before the whole cybersecurity training, ethical hacking came up. So I found love in doing those stuffs. So when I write the codes, put it in my USB, I'll get a second system, my second laptop. I plug it into my second system. As I start using that system, probably typing. First of all, there are keyloggers inside the code, so it will be tracking every alphabet that I'm trying to type. Then also there's a point where it will trigger a command prompt. Most times you see it maybe in less than 1 second, it will just pip pip and go back. What it does, it goes through your cookies and gets passwords. Maybe those people that store passwords on their cookies, etc. And it will send it into what's it called, Google Drive, where I will just pick it up there and analyze it. So exploitation: once delivered, the weapon stroke malware code is triggered upon an action. Then stage 5, installation. The weapon installs malware on the system. Once this is installed, on stage 7, you now establish command and control. Meaning, once you install, you've left the system. Are we on 5 minutes now?
5 minutes.
9. Okay. Why don't we just get the new link? Let me finish. Okay, we're already on 7. Let me just finish it so we can get a new link. So once a command channel is being opened for remote manipulation, meaning you don't need now to be on this person's site physical. You just have to remotely plant yourself in a way that you can remotely access the target system. Then number 7 is action or objective. Whatever it is that your action is, you have to execute it by then. With hands-on access, the attacker and achieve their objective. So let me save this. Probably I will share it to us, but it's already on Google. In case you're looking for it, you want this kind of information, just go to Google and type cyber kitchen and you read more into it. So guys, let's take a break, take a 5 minutes break, and I will share the second link. Henry has been on the waiting room for a long time. Let him come inside, you will know. Henry, Henry, please, we are about to wrap up the first section. Take a break and you get a second link to join in current now. So just in the next five
He's on
minutes,
mute.
he said, "Yeah, I know he's on mute. Probably he's listening. I will still send the second link to him." Go ahead, Henry. Oh, okay, okay, it's all right. So I'll be sending the second link now for us to join and wrap up the class. Thank you. Please confirm you could see my screen and hear my voice. Please, if you can see my screen and hear my voice, confirm, please. Sammy, if you are saying something, we can't hear you. Mr. Ibrahim, you're trying to talk. We can't hear you also.
I can see you, sir, and I can hear you
Oh,
clearly
okay.
now.
It's all right.
Oh, sir, I think maybe it's my earpiece. No wonder.
Ah, your earpiece made you to lose $1,000. Chai.
No wonder.
Ah.
What are they talking? You guys are not hearing me.
Yeah, we were not hearing you. Sorry. He said chai. Okay. Let's ride on. Let's ride on so we could finish. So this was the state of companies and organizations where before they could even notice an attack or incident, a lot of damage has gone through. Okay. Now, study went on and we found out the root cause. The root cause is simply lack of visibility. Nobody was tasked with the job to see and monitor what is happening in the line, and that was how SOC was born. That was how security monitoring came into the system. Are you guys with me?
Yes, we are with you.
Okay. Now, the question now lies, what should we monitor? What should we monitor? That's the question now. Since we found out that, okay, the root cause of incidents happening, an attack happening, and no one is noticing it is because of lack of visibility. The question now says, okay, now we need to start monitoring what is happening. The second question is, what do we monitor? What are we going to be monitoring? And from here, we see, I was sharing with the other class, I told them, everything you're doing on a digital space is being logged. When I mean logged is that there is the people who are developers, they will let you know more. For every action you take on any device is traceable. The actions, computer keeps those records. You on your phone, it keeps the time, it logs the time that your phone was on. You switch it off, you access the internet, anything you do, there are logs on it. And it is through those logs that we are able to know when there are anomalies in the system. It is through those logs that we'll be able to find out if there are anomalies in the system. And we are going to do justice to that shortly while we are preparing to wrap up. Okay, logs, 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 logs. Logs is what we're going to be looking at and monitoring. And that is why the SOC level 1 jobs are the easiest, because what they do is just, they do this. They sit down and they monitor the system for anomalies. That is basically one of the main core jobs of SOC analysts. Now, when they monitor and they find what's it called, anomalies, they will now make a report, a detailed report. There are steps, there are company detailed reports on how it is being done. Okay. So, what are they logging in? They are logging it from system, servers, securities, etc. All these things are where the logs are being pulled out from. Now, who is here? Henry. This section is very, very interesting and dicey. Please, just try to pay good attention and don't lose focus in this part. Since we've agreed that the reason why there are so much things happening without the company knowing is because of lack of visibility. Okay, now to take care of lack of visibility, we introduce security monitoring. Okay, what are we going to be monitoring? We said we are going to be monitoring the logs, system servers, security solutions, network devices. These are the things we're going to be monitoring because they are the ones that hold information of what is happening in a particular system, internal system. Another challenge came. Logs are not quite easy to read. At least for the first time, logs are not quite easy to read. So we're going to practicalize this now. And let's see, Mr. Henry, I want you to try and read this log and make sense out of it. This log. Read it and make sense out of it. Probably read it and explain. Yes.
Okay. I'm just seeing date 8th January 2020.
Why did you drop the first one?
Time.
That one is not important.
I don't know that. That is not important.
Okay, it's all right. It's all right. Let's yes, thank you. Let's try one of our visitors, Mr. Behi. Could you help us to read the log, if you can?
It's no longer visible.
Yeah, it is here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's visible. I don't agree. I'm not.
It's all right. Let's try the lady, Nello. Where is Nello? Oh yeah, read the log. Read the log and make sense out of it.
I'm seeing binary numbers. What?
It's all right. Okay. Now see what happens. What happens here is computer speaks in this kind of languages, and human beings don't. That is why it is difficult for us to read it. But with experience comes, with practice comes experience. For example, if I'm to read this log now, what I will say is, someone or a device with address of 111.111.111. This is an IP address. And who knows what an IP address is?
Your location.
Not just your location. Not just your location, it is an identifier. Every device that is connected, yes, any device connected to the internet or whatever has an IP address. It has something that you use to identify it. Okay, I think in our week 4 or week 3, when we are entering into home lab, IP addressing, all those stuff will be dealt with at least harmfully, because you will need that knowledge into the practicals. So a user or an attacker or a device with IP address of 11111, this IP address here, on 8th day of January 2020, by 17 minutes after 11, under the 55 seconds, with this timeline, accessed this browser, accessed the browser of when he accessed the browser, he used the get request. Get means he's trying to get something. Sometimes you also see post. So, but get means is a fixed word. Get, there are some fixed words that are used in programs, in programming languages, or in computer language. So get means, you see, it is all in capital letter. Get means is trying to get something. Post means is posting something. So this person with this address at this particular time entered this particular website using the HTTP, which is HTTP is not secured anyway. And I think with a port number 10,801, he tried to access google.com and he was looking for something. You can see search under here, meaning he was searching for something. Just a minute. Yes, so he was searching for something. You could see www.google.com/search question mark Q. He was searching for something. And what is he searching for? Log analyzer. You see log, you see plus, you see analyzer. So he was searching for log analyzer. Now, we human beings, when we write sentence, we use gap. We say, I want to. And that gap that is there, that space, that is why when you're writing, you use the space bar. In computer does not use the space literally. It uses the concatenation key. It uses plus to tell itself that, okay, all these words are coming together. So that's why you see log plus analyzer here. So this guy was searching google.com and he was looking for log analyzer. Now, these remaining parts are parts of the computer, the browser he is on, which lets us know that he's actually on Mozilla Firefox. And not just on Mozilla Firefox, he's using Windows system. Not just Windows. The details of the Windows is still there. Now, let's say someone who is not experienced cannot be able to read this log. True or false? Good. Now see where the challenge comes in. 25 million logs per day, or 300 logs per second is what is expected to pass through in most organizations, or even in most architectures. 300 logs per second, 25 million logs per day. So how possible is it that a human being will sit down and be reading all these logs to know which one contains an attacker's detail or which one contains an incident? Is that possible for someone to sit down and read all the whole logs? No, it's not possible. And that is why, yes, and that is why the solution of SIEM was introduced. And SIEM is what? Security, Information and Events Management. Now, before we talk about the solution on how to read these logs, let us do a little practice. Okay, we are going to check out this guy's IP address. This guy, let's know whether he's a good person or a bad person. And there is a very simple way to know that, which is open source for every one of us here. Simply go to, someone should cram his address for me because I will need it where we are going to. 111.111.111.111. Okay. So you go to Google, you type virus total, total.com, virustotal.com. You guys can see the screen, right?
Yes.
When you press enter, it will load the platform. Now, this platform does some wonderful things. It's an open source platform. You can use it to first test or search URL to know whether this web address or this address, this link is whether it has some malicious codes, whether it is from a bad person or whether it is from a good person. You can use this page, this search bar, to search for malicious links. If someone sends you links and you are not sure that this link is authentic, you are scared, you bring it here, put the link inside here, enter, and this platform will let you know whether this link is malicious or not. Also, this link can also do that on IP address. You want to know whether this person that visited your website, look at his IP address. The IP address, is he a good person or a bad person? This is like a mini threat intelligence platform. Those of us that took the exam today, I know you came across threat intelligence, right? Yes, because I did too. Yeah. So this platform is like a mini threat intelligence platform that creates what's it called? Incidents, patterns of bad things that people are doing, so that when you search in the database, once there is a connection, they will let you know, which we are going to try out now. And I will advise us to, at the end of the class, do some testing and do some practicals and trials. So now, also file, if someone sends you a file, a PDF, and you think that this file is malicious, bring it and upload it here. And it will check the file and let you know whether it is good or bad. So what we have is an IP address, and we are going to search this guy's IP address. So someone should give it to me. What's the IP address?
111
Uh-huh.
111 again dot 111 dot 111.
Okay, so we'll press the enter key. Enter. And if it's bad, you will see red everywhere. Good. If it's good, it will just show you green, pure green. If it's bad, it will show you the places where this person is bad from. Now, let's quickly take a look at this. The guy has a bad score of 3 over 94. Security vendors has flagged this IP address. Can you see it? Security vendors have flagged this IP address. Can you see where the address is from?
Identify where it's from.
Yes, Japan.
Yes.
Japan. So the security vendors, they analyzed, they said under CY radar may differ from malicious, SOC radar malware, alpha SOC suspicious. So other parts that is clean, this other parts that is malicious, they let you know. On the details, when you click on details, is on default, by default it will be on detection. When you click on the details, it will give you more details about the website or the IP address. You could see the network, where he's operating from, anonymous system, country, JP, Japan, the continent, Asia, under the who's lookup, internet number, all those informations, every information is here. So when you're building or when you're doing some research, these are one of the places where you could come and get enough information so that you know how to, do the things you want to do. So I advise you all to practicalize that. You want to say something?
I said the site is very useful.
Yes. So don't forget it. Now, we've seen that the guy that tried accessing is a bad person. He's not a good person. So with 300 logs flowing in per second, we decided, the company or the institution or the economy or the society of cybersecurity, or the career, decided to bring in the SIEM tool, which is the Security Information and Event Management tool. What does it do actually? This SIEM tool, it takes all these logs, does some little magic inside it. Meanwhile, those magic are just settings to a particular set of parameters. Probably when you see this kind of log that has this kind of privileges, or that have this kind of patterns, please signal them as error, or signal them as fine, or signal them as bad. And that's exactly what the log tool does. So it takes all these logs and does the whole magic and brings out suspicious activities. Yes.
Sorry, coach. You said when we have this kind of pattern, we should signal them as bad. And how do you?
No, what I said is that's the job of the SIEM tool. Remember, we said that the SIEM tool is what is going to do this big manual labor of scanning all these logs. So this SIEM tool will take all the logs and match them according to preset patterns and filter them out. You, that is the Security Operations Center analyst or SOC analyst, sitting down on the screen, you will now be, your attention will now be drawn on suspicious activities. This thing seems like as though it is long, but just like I said, we are going to move right in. I'm going to show you my screen, my workstation, where I work, where I resume to work on a daily basis. I work with a SIEM tool also. Now, when you see that, you will see how the SIEM tool has made job easier for us. So, just a while, let's do a recap before I do that. We found the problem and we found the solution. The solution, which is visibility. The problem and the solution. The solution which was introduced to take care of the problem is SIEM tool, and that's exactly what I'm going to demonstrate now and show us, so that we could see practically how it is. And for those of us that are into the program, okay, let me bring up my SIEM tool. Okay, and I'm going to Wazoo. I need to. I hope everyone is following. Nello, are you sleeping?
Yes. I'm here.
Okay, please don't sleep. Mr. Rob that said he wanted to sleep. I don't know whether he has left us. Have you slept? Okay. So Wazoo is a kind of SIEM tool that does these things I tell you. It takes logs from servers, stations, network, and it filters it through and gives us, it comes out as this kind of beautiful platform whereby we don't have to go ahead and start burning our head to read through the logs. So on this interface, under the last 24 hours, there has not been any critical severity issue. And critical severity issue is set to level 15. When something is very bad, the levels I think they go from level 1, 2, 3 to above. Now, but we have one high severity issue. And I should even now that I'm in class now, I should look at this now. I'm hearing Krum. What is that?
Somebody raise hand.
Okay, I'm not seeing. Who is that? Who raised hand?
EE.
Okay, EE, kindly go ahead, please. Hello? Probably is a mistake. Or his. We'll get back to him later. So, there is a high severity alerts here. I should look at it, but first look at medium severity alerts. This is under the past 23 hours. We have how many? 15,343 alerts that has come in under within the range of level 7 to level 11. Then by their colors, you will know how bad they are. Under low severity alerts, we have 172,820. Okay, so we are actually, let me take a look at the high severity alerts so that we'll see what is happening. What it does is the SIEM tool helps us to look at all these informations and pinpoint them and address them one after the other. And that is exactly what I do each day when I come to work. I go to my SIEM tool, look at incidents. When I see the ones that I need to respond to, I write a detailed what's it called, report, send it to the person ahead of me, which is the incident response team, and they will take it up from there. So when during our practicals, people will be exposed to your own SOC platform, and I will encourage everybody to go there, do it, and get a used to it, so that when you get the job tomorrow, you will not feel lost. When you see a SIM tool, even if it's not Wazoo, when you see Splunk or any one of them, you'll be like, okay, I already know how this kind of stuff work now. So running up already, we've seen a problem and we've identified the root cause, and of course we found a solution, which is the same tool. Now we all know that human beings don't like obeying rules and regulations. That is why the GRC came into being. That's what this part is saying. What it does is people will always fall and have accidents when they don't have their helmet. So the solution is to give them a helmet. But do people like wearing helmets? No. Average person that is driving a bike will not want to wear a helmet. That is why you will now find what's it called? In Nigeria, Lagos, what are they called? Road safety. It's not road safety. Last man. Yes. And the Agberos, they will just chop money from you. So they are basically rule enforcers, and they ensure that compliances and industry best practices are upheld. So we see some of them as PCI, the Security Standard Council, GDPR. GDPR is under which country? Who can remember? For those, EU, right?
Europe.
Yes, for those who took exam today, is there. Yeah, then HIPAA.
That will normally come out in some of all these questions.
Yes, yes.
Yes. HIPPA, checking US.
US, yes, that one is USA. Someone is doing Henry, Mr. Henry, go ahead.
What's the exam you are talking about? I'm confused. So, people in you are already taking the exam.
No. You came late. If had it been you were early, you would have known what is happening. We have some visitors in our midst. Okay, so and they were from my group where we had exam that we took. So some of them wanted to come in and look at what we are doing. Okay, just few of them. So that's the people that I'm referring to when I say those people that took exam. So for your batch, the batch 2, people are not taking any exam now until people are grounded. So don't feel lost. We've not left you behind. But don't come late, sir. Nigeria will not leave you behind.
No. I know that I came late to. It was late.
Oh, sorry about that. Now they've left you behind. Don't mind me. Okay, let's go ahead, man, so we could wrap up with. The HIPAA is for USA, okay? Now, that reminds me. Rob, you were answering. Did you do the assignments? I think that's where you got some of your answers from.
No. I have come across this.
Oh, okay.
I think the first day, yeah, you exposed us to this.
Oh, okay. It's all right. That's nice, man. That's nice. So, going ahead, during the year 2010, 2011, we saw some SIM tools that are coming up, like the IBM, the McAfee, the Splunk. Many SIM tools. Wazoo is a 24th century SIM tool. Is a recent one. Even the ones people are going to use is more like Wazoo. Please go ahead. Okay. So I was asking, how do you get signals to Wazoo? Okay, Wazoo is configured to get those things. In practical sense, is like Wazoo installs an agent or log collation agents inside the what's it called? For example, if you have a server that you want us to um, monitor for you, we configure Wazoo's agents or log analyzers or collectors inside your server so that it will be there picking up those logs. Yes, I'm sorry about that. You say you have issues with your audio. So, but I'm sure you've heard what I said. So they install, for you to get those logs, you have to install agents or log collectors in those servers or networks or whatever that you're trying to, you know, monitor and get their logs. So it will now be feeding the SIEM tool with those informations, and that is how SIEM tools get their SIEM tools like Wazoo and Splunk. That's how they get their informations. So thank you very much, Nelo, for calling my attention to that question. Any question? So is primarily an open prem SIEM. Okay, your English, can you break it down a bit? You know, we are in what's it called? We are in a beginners boot camp, so that people will have basic. That's why you see me. I go through the stress of making sure it is basic, so everybody could understand. So when you say it is primarily an open prem SIM, what do you mean by that? While he's typing, let me check the recording to ensure that our recording is still going as planned. Okay, on premises. Yes, most times it is on premises. Yes, most times too it is remote. For example, the same to the Wazoo we have here, our agents are being installed in the our users or purposes. So he said, does it cover cloud and on-prem resources? Sure, it does. It does. And you could also use resources like Google or ChatGPT to deepen your knowledge on this. Yeah, I see your interest is getting interesting. So it does, because it is an industry-wide application. So let's go back. We're almost rounding up. We're almost rounding up. Because that we've taken a whole almost
Sir,
one
I
hour.
cannot see your screen.
You
I
can't
think
see
my
my
network.
you can't see my screen. Why
At
can't you
all,
see?
I cannot see anything.
Please,
My
who
network is here. I
else?
cannot see anything. I can hear.
It should be your network.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I specifically had to choose Glow because of where I am. I didn't want to use MTN. I figured out that if I use MTN and NEPA takes light, it looks as though MTN people in my area they use NEPA light. So when NEPA take light, for the next 10 minutes, my network will not work. This is not a joke, it's not a laughing matter. I've watched it and it has happened more than 10, 15 times. So if I'm doing something important, I'll just kukuma use Glow. So it's so funny. So when you have to know the ones that are more reliable for you for the classes, okay? So now inside the same SOC security analyst. Now this is example of what the SOC operation center is. You see these guys that are here, they sit down. What do? They are just monitoring, just like the Wazoo that I showed you guys. They are monitoring the system to see, to get the alerts and to see when something wrong is happening. Also, remember what I said in the beginning that, sorry, go ahead.
I can be paying someone when you stick your eyes on a particular place you are
Oh,
monitoring.
okay. There are shifts.
One can go off,
You said
miss one or two. You know,
there are shifts. Like my system has been reduced, my big screen has been reduced to very low screen eyes or whatever, so that I could stay here for a long time and it doesn't itch me. And I use dim lights. I don't use. If you watch my room, my office is not too bright. Even the light is not facing here; it's facing backward. So the shadow, my shadow, is being cast behind me. although there's light still coming in from the curtain from the sun. So there are shifts. You might not be able to work round clock. It's just 8 hours shift. That's a normal shift time. But when you get a job where you need to put in more time, you put in more time. The more the time, the you know now. So yes, you everybody, and also bigger screens ensure that you don't strain your eye much. You understand? So bigger screens ensure that you don't strain your eyes much to find details. Okay. So this is basically the security operations center. What it looks like when even if you're working from your home, you have access. You connect through VPN to the company's.
I cannot see anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I cannot see anything.
I'm feeling sorry for you.
Come back.
You can refresh your
Yes,
refresh.
or even log out and come in back again. Ah. Anyway, don't cry much. The class is being recorded, so um, we got you covered, guy. So now, I just wish to end this class now, and we have another part two of it tomorrow. If you guys are okay with that, because I have close to 20 more slides to wrap up on SOC. So, but if you guys permit,
I can see it now.
okay, good. So, if you guys permit,
Military.
yes, if you guys permit, we could call it a day here. Then tomorrow, probably around the hours of 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., we'll wrap up the balance of
Yeah,
SOC.
5 p.m. can be fine.
Okay, guys.
I'm going to church.
Okay, 5 p.m. Good. So, what about our visitors?
Can't it be same time like today?
Ah.
5 p.m. One might.
No,
Sure.
church.
I might not even be around by that time.
No, you can't be staying in the church from morning till.
Some people actually go to church by 12. Some people go to church by 12.
Say why till
Start from now.
Nelo,
My church,
say why you are just.
my even if it is select, some people,
one ministry like this, but we usually spend long time.
yeah, it's all right. That's not a problem.
Mr. Brett, the reason why I'm saying it is, tomorrow is Sunday, and towards that evening time, one might try to
Step out, step out.
step out.
Okay, why don't we reschedule it for Monday evening around 7 p.m. No, 7 p.m. people will still be coming back work.
That can be fine.
Sunday, what about 9 p.m.?
Sunday 9 p.m.
Yeah,
Fine.
because we have less than 45 minutes to 30 minutes to wrap it up. So within 35 minutes or 40 minutes, the remaining parts can be covered. So tomorrow 9 p.m. we'll use 35 minutes and 40 minutes and wrap it up. Okay? Yeah.
What about the visitors?
You said?
Talk about visitors.
Yeah, yes. Mr. Behi is still here, and EE is still here too.
I'm here, sir.
Okay, so we are about to wrap up now, and we would like to hear from you. What do you think about the training? I know you just had a little time with us. Yeah.
I not like I have much to say, but I just want to ask, how can I continue to be part of the plan? Because
You meet Nelo. Na Nelo go give you admission form.
sincerely, this is what I've been looking for. I've been doing a lot of theory, and it's really not helping me.
Yeah, I understand.
As we speak currently now, there is a position open in my office, but I don't have the confidence to apply.
Imagine, you see?
If I've been doing this, I would have been able to do it. Without
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, that's not a problem. I will share with you what's it called, the registration process. The next batch is starting this coming Saturday, so they are going to be batch 10, and you could still join them. Like I said, the program from week 1 to week 3 is foundation and basic. This is week 2, and even in this week 2, we're already seeing some little practical stuff. So you can imagine what happens from when the core practical hands-on section starts by week 4. So it's is a way to help people do the big things in a smaller way. So your voice is muted. So does I don't know whether you have anything to say before we could call it a day. If you have, kindly type it on. Then every other person in the group, we are going to see you guys in the group, and the recording is going to be compiled also, so that by the time we finish tomorrow, both of them will be joined together, and the link will be shared. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate your coming.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Nello, thank you, Sami, thank you, Rob, thank you, Ibrahim.
Thank
Wait,
you, sir.
Ibrahim, you've not said anything to us. I didn't even know you were still here. He's disappeared. Okay, guys, bye bye. Take care.
Bye tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.